What's up, everybody? I'm Rick,
And I'm Anna.
and welcome to our reaction to Naruto Shippuden episode 142.
Welcome.
Anna,
Yes.
this is your first time watching Naruto Shippuden, not mine.
Yes.
A lot of things happened.
A lot of things happen.
A lot of things
Let's
happened.
talk about what
Yes. It's been a while since we recorded one of these. I wanted to let some time pass. Let you sink it in.
Let the reality sink in.
Yes, exactly. And now that it's sunk in, what are your thoughts about this whole situation? The Itachi stuff and Toby and all of that, Sasuke.
I think it was amazing. I mean, it was so unexpected up until, the very end. Actually, more like the very end was unexpected. I feel like, these last few episodes that we've watched with Sasuke and Itachi, and then afterwards with the reveal, it was just like a roller coaster. Because here's the thing for me, and that's how I see it. I went into this whole Itachi situation from the beginning, from the first time he was showing a flashback, doubting it. I was like, no, there's something about him. From the beginning, I was like, there's something in his eyes, there's something in the way he said things, in the way he phrased things. I was like, he can't be all bad. There's something there.
There is something in his eyes. It's a Sharingan.
Yes. And I believed it. I believed it up until the very end, up until that final battle with Sasuke. But then he goes and he just like straight out says all those stuff. Straight out. And I'm like, I'm taking it at face value, because one, and that's the brilliant thing on the part of the author, it made sense. It made complete sense of why Itachi would have done all of those bad things that he said he did and what he wanted to do, which was to take out his brother's eyes. It made sense, like, so much,
Yeah.
Especially because we were also told before the story of Madara the way the people in Konoha were telling the story, which was that he took his brother's eyes,
For power.
For power, exactly. Which is not the story that he tells afterwards, obviously. Like, you have all of these elements, and it makes sense that Itachi is just evil. And I thought in that moment, whatever, like, shade of sadness I might have seen in his eyes would just be a sort of, I don't want to do this, but, or rather, I'm sorry I have to do this because you're my brother, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That's what I reduced it to. And I believed it, and I was so thrilled that Sasuke was winning until the end of the battle, when I was like, he won! Did he? Because it looked off. It looked like at the end of the battle, you already realized, like, no, there's something.
Something's off.
Something's off. But also, I feel like the fact that I watched these episodes back to back, it didn't really leave me time to think about it. Now, I'm not saying that I would have realized that something was still off if I had time to think about it, but maybe, I don't know.
We recorded that whole batch of,
Yes.
I think it was like 8 episodes in one
Yeah.
go, because I didn't want to leave you time to
That was
think.
your doing.
I wanted you to just
And it worked
get it.
perfectly, I think that in that sense, I had the exact reaction that the author wanted his readers to have, which is that whatever doubt I might have had in my mind up until that point, when you like straight out go and tell me, like, Itachi like goes and tells, this is what I'm doing, these are my reasons, this is my motivation, you believe him. You believe it 100%. And then you're happy that he lost, only for that final episode to come. Well, final, I mean, the episode afterwards, where Toby / Madara tells Sasuke the truth, and it's like a revelation, because it made sense before, it makes even more sense now.
Yeah.
It's like you see it all. And in that sense, you also go through the exact emotions that Sasuke would have gone through, which was that he went through this like whole thing of, hating his brother, culminating with him going after his brother, defeating his brother, and then only to find out when it's too late that his brother was actually probably the best character in this whole anime. in the sense of like, his intentions. And not only that, but like, I feel as a viewer that it's too late. I can't see any more of Itachi and his coolness now. And I see that that's what he was before, but I can't see it anymore because he's gone, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And if I'm this sorry that I just don't get to see him and appreciate him from this point on anymore, imagine how Sasuke must feel. That he doesn't get to tell his brother anything anymore because he's dead. I can't believe it. It's like, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. I can see your mind is blown. A few questions for you. First of which, and don't take these as any type of hints towards anything. I'm just having a conversation here. So you're saying like, Toby tells the story and it makes so much sense. Do you take the story? Do you believe in it? Because
yes.
when he started talking, you were saying, "Why would I believe this guy?"
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe Toby's story. Madara's story. I believe his version of what really happened. And you know why? And here's why. Because he doesn't paint it as black or white. When the Konoha people tell the story, it's so...
Oh, so Itachi tells the story.
Right, true. When Itachi tells the story, but it's the way the Konoha people want the story to be perpetuated, right? It's so like, oh, those are the bad guys, or he's the bad guy. Like throughout the whole history from the establishment of the village, the Uchiha clan were, the bad guys.
Cursed clan.
The cursed clan, exactly. And, sure, we worked with them, but then we like cut off the weed, like the worst of their clan, and just, kept the rest of the... It's like they paint so much the others as the bad guys, whereas when Madara tells the story, it's not so black and white. It feels real, Like, yeah, we were doing this stuff, but they were doing this stuff too. And then this happened. And,
And there's
it
admissions
feels
of
authentic.
flaws.
Yes.
Like, I was bitter that
Yeah.
they didn't believe in me, they betrayed me or whatever. I wanted revenge on
Right.
my own clan. Like, someone who's trying to paint himself as the quote-unquote good one out of a story like that wouldn't say something like that, right? I
Exactly.
wanted revenge.
Exactly. So because of those reasons, I believe Madara's story.
I
Toby.
see. And what about Itachi? While we were watching this episode, there were a lot of moments where, I had to control myself because you were out there slandering the name of Itachi
Because I was
Uchiha.
believing what he was saying, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible what he was saying that his intentions really were.
And so at the end, after all of this, what do you think of him as a character? You're saying now he's dead, you can't see any more of him. So let's do a look back like we did with Jiraiya,
Yeah.
Like, what does this character like?
He was
make you think
the best character of this anime. He should have won at the end. Not only against Sasuke, just against everyone. He was, wow, because here's the thing. There's this component to his character that has been maintained throughout the whole story so far. Up until his death. That he always was kind of above everyone else. He was stronger, better, faster, knew what he was doing, went for his own goals, That was a very composed picture of a character that was so much above everyone else, And then you get the story at the end after his death, and you realize how conflicted he was, how, I don't know if necessarily unsure, but how he felt pushed and forced to do things that he didn't want to do, maybe. I'm sure he didn't want to kill his clan, but like he was pushed into that because the alternative he felt was even worse. And then how much you feel he struggled through all of this to create a safe space for his brother to live in, And you realize like, no, he wasn't that kind of like perfectly composed character who was he was in control of everything in terms of power, but in terms of like controlling his environment, it feels like it was a struggle for him, And it just like, it doesn't like pull him down necessarily, but in the sense that it makes you be able to relate to him more as a character, you know, gives him that complexity of, oh, so you weren't always just this guy who was doing whatever he wanted and were good at it. You often had to do things that you had to do whether you wanted to or not, and sometimes just like pass by.
And you say, you know, you wanted to create this safe space for his brother, and his plan, Sasuke would go back to the village as a hero after defeating the criminal, right? But now Sasuke is taking another path. What do you think of that? He's saying at the end of last episode, time to crush Konoha. That's the new goal.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure Itachi would be disappointed of that, because here's the thing, it's like he sacrificed everything for his brother to be able to go back to Konoha and have a life there, you know, like literally everything he did, you know, staging that fight, which when you realize that he staged the whole fight so that it would play out the way he wanted and with him to die in the end, was just like shocking. But yeah, he did all of this so that his brother could have that option, but his brother made the other, like, not only another choice, but the exact opposite. He made the choice that his clan did. Sasuke, in this sense, is carrying out the will of the Uchiha clan, which Itachi like tried to squish, right, by killing his entire family. I think in that sense he would be disappointed, but I think also he would understand, like I kind of understand, that Sasuke, just like Itachi, is doing what he thinks is best. Think of it that way. When Itachi had something that he felt he really wanted to protect, which was his brother in the beginning when his brother was a child, he went to all of those lengths, arranged with the Hokage, did all of those things to make sure that Sasuke would be safe. But like, be Sasuke in this situation, what are you gonna do? Just go back to the people who made your brother do those things? They sent your brother to kill his family, and then you're gonna go back and what, pretend that you're all friends?
Yeah, that's
work
fair.
for them, be a ninja for them? No, you can't.
That's
know.
fair.
And I think that's why he didn't want Sasuke to know. That's why he lied to him and he put the Amaterasu in his eye so that Tobi wouldn't tell him, because you know there was a risk there. Like, he wanted Sasuke to be oblivious to the truth so that he could go back. But Sasuke found out, and finding out, you can't just like go back to that, you know. That village, I mean, at least the elders of that village, caused the death of your family, made your brother, whom you find out was a great guy, into an outcast. You know, you can't forgive that. It's understandable. It's more than understandable. It's logical.
Yeah, of course. And before we get into the episode, just one last question. I've asked you that before, but now I'm curious to ask you again to see if your answer has changed. In this show, Naruto, who is your favorite character?
Itachi! He's Khan! I can't. I think I will go back and just like watch some parts with Itachi, just like to watch them again. You know? Like that part when he goes into the village to go after Naruto. That's what he says he's there to do. But really, we find out that he went back right after the third Hokage died to kind of remind everyone that, hey, I'm still around, don't mess with my brother. I want to see that again, because I want to see the whole thing again. You know, knowing what I know now, I want to like rewatch all of those different like parts. It's interesting. I'm sure we still, like, Itachi still has left a few things for us to find out. I'm still extremely curious to find out what he told Naruto when he ran into him in the forest. So yeah, I think like maybe we will see him a little bit here and there in flashbacks or stuff, but he's gone, and he is my favorite character.
Well,
the best character.
Let's look to the future now with this reaction to episode 142.
Naruto, you're always too late. They're not giving up. With the rain, you would expect that they can't find it anymore. Pick up the scent. Oh!
We're seeing a bit more of this flashback.
Yeah. Was that like the Sharingan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we thought he got it later for the first time. I guess it was already there a little bit. Oh, he's crying. Oh, this is heartbreaking.
You wanted more of Itachi.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Ignore that memory.
He feels like he didn't not realize, but he kind of like buried it because it didn't like make sense to him that he would cry. Oh, he can do that.
Yeah, because don't forget, now that he has the Mangekyo Sharingan,
Yeah,
he keeps using it.
he'll go blind. Sasuke always wants to do things his own way. Oh, he's gonna tell him. What do you mean the person closest? That's what he said? Person closest to me?
Mm-hmm.
He knows him?
Oh!
Mizukage? Wait, what? There's too much to think about. So he's not like going necessarily for everyone in the village, just those who caused what they caused.
At Kizame's a point, like, they're not gonna let you.
True. Is this the place to do this? Really? Did he just stop it with his hand? Sasuke, control your people.
Oh, Karin agrees with you.
Yeah. Sasuke doesn't care. Oh, you probably can't do anything about it anyway, so go ahead, have your fun. I like Sasuke's attitude.
Like, Karin,
He's like, yeah, got it, shut up.
let us talk.
Let the adults talk.
Only 3 left.
3 more. We're not letting you go after Naruto. This is what he's saying. Is he just waiting out for Itachi to die?
A lot of them got defeated, huh?
Yeah.
But they got a lot of tail beasts, though.
Oh, I don't like that line there. Kind of feels like Sasuke is just playing into their hands. Oh, they're wearing
The cloak, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. It looks different. Is that the Mangekyo Sharingan? It looks different than Itachi's.
They all do. Kakashi's look different than Itachi.
Oh yeah, that's true. It looks a bit different than the the other Akatsuki members' cloaks. I mean, just like the way they wear them, I don't know, like splits at the bottom, and I feel like they're not as long. Oh my gosh, I can't stand her. Please write off this character, please. Does she have any other personality trait? Any other?
Then liking Sasuke?
Yeah.
She also hates Sugetsu.
True. Doesn't help her case much. This looks cool. Good place for a tail beast to hide. Oh. What's with that talking?
He's a rap loving, yeah?
Wait, is this a tail beast? I mean a Jinchuriki?
Oh.
Oh, they're already there.
You gotta be polite. Karin, you stay there.
Yeah.
Oh, it begins!
They didn't waste a lot of time talking.
And they're here to capture it, not to have a conversation.
They thought that huge sword right away.
He's having fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. He's just toying with them. And also he's a Jinchuriki. I mean he's not even using the tail beast. He's just fighting by himself.
Take your guy back.
Take your trash and leave me alone.
Sasuke.
Okay, let's see Sasuke.
Always so confident.
Yeah, and cool. Why don't you like that he talks like that? He's cool. I like it. You think so, Sasuke? I mean, Sasuke was good at that. In the end, he took advantage of Orochimaru however he wanted.
Yeah, but in the end, he didn't know anything about his brother and thought he did to the very end.
True.
Ooh. The confrontation will have to wait for next time.
Yes.
Sasuke versus Killer Bee. Lots of things happened here, you know. We ended with that fight, but let's pull back a little bit to
that conversation.
Yes, with Kizami on the stairs.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
So, I mean, I make of it what he says. Madara he said former. So was at some point Mizukage. Which one is this one? It's one of the nations, the great nations, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? How does that work? Because so at some point, couldn't have been that long ago, because I think Izana just has a regular lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also not that old. So it couldn't have been that long ago. So at some point, after everybody thought that he was dead, he became Mizukage? How? Like, isn't that like a public position? Wouldn't everybody know that Uchiha Madara is the Mizukage? You know, like the leader of the ninja village of a great nation?
Mm-hmm.
How did he pull that off? Also, he said, so Madara said, you will be the last one to know, even though you are the closest one to me or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that Kizame knew him personally. He was there. So he must have been Mizukage at some point before Kizame left his village.
The village, yeah.
So it could have been that long ago.
Who knows? Who knows?
How did he pull that off? Is it like, maybe was he like, okay, maybe he was like a in the shadows Mizukage. Like there was a public figure, a person, you know, doing the political stuff and whatnot, but he was actually the one controlling everything, but he wasn't revealing
Himself,
yeah. And only the people close to him knew, which I'm assuming Kizame must have been, because he did say you were close to me. Why did he go for such a position? Why would he do that?
Mizukage is from the village hidden in the mist.
Okay, that one, yes. Why would he go for such a position? It's, oh my gosh. There's so much more going on here. It's insane.
Other than that, we also had a brief discussion with Zetsu, talking about how, you know, now Itachi is gone, we're free to dance on Konoha's grave.
You know, that made me think, I don't know, I kind of had the feeling that Itachi and Madara came to an agreement, you know, out of convenience. Like, we can help each other in this situation, but it now him saying that, Madara saying that, it kind of feels like Itachi was running the show. You know, like all this time I actually wanted to go and attack Konoha, and Itachi was stopping me. That it kind of feels like that's what he was saying.
And finally, at the end there, we see Sasuke and the rest of Taka now wearing Akatsuki robes. Going...
Yeah, it feels like from this point of view, Sasuke is quick to switch teams. You know, he was running around with Orochimaru, dressing like Orochimaru, and then, you know, he was on his own for a little bit. Now he's running with Akatsuki, dressing like Akatsuki. It kind of feels like,
yeah,
like he's a little bit of a...
But he's saying he's in control. He's the one taking advantage of the situation.
I wouldn't be surprised necessarily. I don't think that if he wanted to control the situation right now, he could. But I mean, he didn't seem like he could control the situation with Orochimaru before, but 3 years later, he did. Like, things worked out like the way he wanted. So I don't know, give him some time and Sasuke could
come
probably,
out on top.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's kind of that kind of character, you know, like he grows. He takes everything, he kind of like takes everything that he needs from you, and then he can stomp you to death.
Okay. Interesting. Well, lots of things to think about as we go forward with the new reactions. If you guys want to be there for those reactions, we invite you to
subscribe to this channel. The button is down below. Like
this video if you did. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified whenever a new video pops out. Comment in the comment section below, and have a nice day.